So I got this. I didn't get buy one get one free. I just got one of those. 2 Big Macs. Oh, I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing my spicy McChicken. Oh no. Yeah, I gotta make sure.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Before we get into it, if you hear a bunch of noise, there is a lot of construction going on outside the house, so I apologize. But today we are going to be doing a little bit of an update on candy or Hungry Fat Chick. The last time that we talked about candy on the channel was this video right here, which is titled "The Hungry Fat Chick Situation is Devastating." And in that video, we were talking about the fact that she's obviously still doing mukbangs, but she did kind of like a little series with another reaction channel who does a lot of reactions to Girl World people, who is Sansa Cooks, who is someone that kind of is into healthier foods and stuff like that. So that this person kind of actually went to Candy's house, right, and ordered healthier alternative food for Candy, as well as showed her different ways to cook different meals and stuff like that. And, you know, to be completely honest, the videos were interesting. They were definitely a little awkward because I think Sansa doesn't like to be on camera. And so you just kind of you could tell that Sansa was maybe like sitting off camera while Candy was eating this food. And it just ended up being a little awkward. People thought it was they felt like it was a little weird. I think that it is really, really cool, and I still believe this, that Sansa is someone that was reacting to this, but also wanted to, you know, for lack of a better term, put her money where her mouth is and be like, hey, let me show you different techniques and different things that you can do to maybe be able to eat a little bit healthier while still continuing to do these mukbangs. Because if you're not familiar, I'm sure most of you are, but Candy's biggest thing is that she says that she wants to lose weight, and she, you know, always is talking about how that she, you know, she wishes that she was smaller and she wasn't as big as she was, and there's a myriad of health conditions that have happened recently that she's been dealing with that have made it hard for her to even really exist in this world. It's been really, really difficult for her. But on top of wanting that, if you look at her, you know, most recent videos, which I'm sure you saw, we have massive sushi feast, date night with the Colonel, so that's KFC, and then McDonald's after midnight. So, and in these videos, she's eating a massive amount of food, and her biggest thing that she has been trying to do is, I want to lose weight, but I still need to do these mukbangs in her mind, right? She has to do these mukbangs because that is the content that people will watch and click on. And even if you do look at the you know, the difference in views, you know, she doesn't get a massive amount of views, and that's not me saying anything negative. It just is what it is, right? But if we look at the views of the, you know, the first video with Sansa, 21K, but then once people realize what it was, the next one, 13. But then we go to the sushi, 19, and then KFC is 23. And then this McDonald's one, which was only uploaded a day ago, was already at 19, so it'll probably pass that, right? And if we look at the Canes before, 27, 33, 33, 23 for Panera Bread, but Whataburger gets 40, right? So it's so unbelievably clear and obvious that there is a financial incentive, and this isn't something that she hides. This is something that she is very open about, right? There is a financial incentive to eat unhealthy food and make those videos because that is the thing that is going to, you know, garner the most amount of views, which means the most amount of money for her. And, you know, the people even in these recent Sansa videos were like, the next video is going to be McDonald's. Well, it wasn't exactly the next video, but it wasn't long until we were back to doing that, which for someone that I genuinely do like Candy, and I do want to see her succeed, seeing this, while I can understand it, some people almost got upset with me in my last video where I talked about it because they were like, it's almost like I was defending what she's doing. Just because I can say I understand why she is doing what she's doing doesn't mean that I think is a good idea, and doesn't mean that I condone it, but I can see why she's doing it, and it makes sense to me as far as this is what's going to make money. Does that mean that I think that she should do it and that it's a good idea? Absolutely not. I think it's a terrible idea, but I also get why she is doing it. I hope that makes sense, because I feel like just because I maybe don't completely bash something and I'm like, how dare you do this, and I go in, that doesn't mean that I condone it, just because I understand why you might do something. With that being said, let's get into this most recent video. So this is the McDonald's mukbang after midnight. And I mean, honestly, we're only going to watch the beginning portion of this video because the rest of it truly is her just eating and really not saying pretty much anything for the rest of the video. But the first few minutes are worth talking about because I feel like some of the stuff that she says is very interesting and it kind of opens a bigger conversation.
Oh, it's that time again. McDelivery. Yes, indeed. It is after 1 a.m. Yep. And we're having McDonald's after midnight. And that's the theme tonight.
So, I mean, I don't think you guys need me to say, clearly, eating this much McDonald's at 1 a.m. is not a good idea. Not something that someone that is trying to lose weight should do, right? Clearly.
Oh, let's see. Should be a Diet Coke. Yep, there we go. Nothing but the cardboard thing in the bottom. I got a lot of food today, you guys, because Uber Eats wants to oh wait a minute, no, that was DoorDash. Uber Eats and DoorDash both had the same special, but for some reason I couldn't get both buy one get one frees to show up. So I got this. I didn't get buy one get one free. I just got one of those. But I got 2 Big Macs. Oh, I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing my spicy McChicken.
So, I mean, clearly I think that she'll be okay without a spicy McChicken because we have 2 Big Macs, 20 McNuggets, and a large fry, right? So I don't think the spicy McChicken is needed.
Oh no. Yeah, I gotta make sure what the hell. Anyway. Yep, 2 Big Macs, 2 10-piece chicken McNuggets. Oh no. No. Not the spicy McChicken. Let's see. Help. Issue with items. Something's, yep, a hot and spicy McChicken is missing. Let me take a little picture. Boy, this is what I got. I didn't get the spicy McChicken. I mean, it's just a couple of dollars, but you know, no spicy McChicken. Oh, come on. To be found. Nope. That was it. Well, if y'all gonna give me something. Yes, my bag was sealed. Patrick was just fine. $2.74. But you know, that's $2.74. Like, good Lord. It's always something, man. I tell you, one of these days I'll be able to go get my own stuff.
Okay, so there, I think that's very interesting, right? So she's upset that she didn't get a spicy McChicken, right? Because she had got it on DoorDash, you know, things happen. But then she says, one of these days I'm going to be able to go and get my own stuff. Now, obviously, I don't know exactly how serious she is by saying that, but I'm going to take it at face value, right? And so I'm going to hear that, and I'm going to assume that is something that you want to do, Candy, right? This is something that you would like to be able to go to these places, right, and get your own stuff. And so if that is the case, what you're doing right now is not conducive to making that happen, right? I'm sure that that's not something that you would be surprised to hear, but it's frustrating to see this as someone that I want you to do well, and it just feels like you don't want it as bad as you say you do, right? Like, there's a disconnect, and this is not just Candy. This is very common, right? Between things that we say we want and the actions that are required to do those things, right? So Candy, you know, she says, I want to be able to go and get this food myself instead of having to DoorDash it. But her actions are not that at all, right? What we need to be doing is obviously very, very different things, especially when it comes to food, right? And I'm not even one of those people that says you can't ever have fast food or, you know, more fun foods. But I do personally believe, and this might be a little controversial, but I do personally believe that if you are someone that is in Candy's position, or someone like Amberlynn Reed, or even me at my heaviest, it is okay for a season to say, I'm not going to have that thing, right? Because I think trying to allow yourself to have it a little bit here and there, right? Especially like McDonald's or something like that, it is a very, very slippery slope. And I feel like this game that Candy is trying to play, the game that Amberlynn is trying to play, right? These other people that we talk about, it almost never works. And a lot of times it is birthed out of this desire to, like, they say that they want this thing. They want weight loss. It is the most important thing to them, right? A lot of times if you ask them that. And when I say them, just people that are in that position. But then when it comes to doing the things that you need to do, there's a disconnect. And a lot of times I'm not saying that it's 100% the person's fault. Like when I think about myself, there was a lot of misinformation and stuff that I just truly didn't understand. So I really did think that I was putting in the work for a short amount of time, but then I would, you know, I wouldn't last very long. I would kind of give up pretty quickly. And so I think that it's okay for someone that's in Candy's position or even Amberlynn Reed's position to be like, I need to be like, no McDonald's for a few months, right? And then the reason that I like going that path is because it's not this idea that I'm never going to have this thing. And so it's not that fear, because I think a lot of times when people are like told that they can never have it, it's like, well, I could never do that. That will never happen. And so therefore I will never be successful, right? So instead of that, it's like, go a month without this. Maybe even start with 2 weeks, right? Go 2 weeks without McDonald's or what, you know, insert whatever thing it is for you. And just do that. Right? And obviously easier said than done. But once you get past that 2 weeks, there is a genuine sense of accomplishment. And I feel for a lot of people, realization that you can do that thing that you thought was way too hard. And if you can do it for 2 weeks, maybe you can do it for 3 weeks. Maybe you can do it for a month. And I'm not saying never have it again. Maybe after a month you have it. Okay. Right? But you are proving to yourself that you can do something that is hard that you didn't think that you could do before. Right? And then you can build and build and build upon that, instead of trying to be like, I need to be perfect, or I'm just going to allow myself to have a little bit of everything, because a lot of times that just ends in disaster, especially when we're talking about people that are in the position like Candy, Amberlynn Reed, myself when I was at my heaviest, right? Like those, when you're in that position, it's very hard to just allow yourself to have things here and there. It can be very difficult. My opinion, at least.
Okay, that's... Get my money back. All right. Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets. I got a lot of chicken nuggets. Okay.
My order when I was at my heaviest, I've said this before, but when I used to go to McDonald's, I used to get, this was when stuff was much cheaper, and I think most of the stuff was on the dollar menu, but I would get 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, a large fry, and a large drink. And then sometimes I would get like chicken nuggets on the side as well. It just kind of depended. But so it's very interesting seeing this, because it brings back a lot of memories.
There. I'm going to put one of these Big Macs to the side for now. Ooh, Big Macs. Fries are hot. Oh, love the hot fries.
So that's kind of where we're going to end watching, because really the majority of this stuff is just her kind of eating and not saying much. There's not really much talk. But just for full transparency, towards the end of the video, she doesn't end up eating most of it. Like there's one Big Mac that she ends up sliding to the side. Just, you know, I don't want to misrepresent what kind of kind of happens here, right? So she says like, oh, you know, it's so hard for me to eat this food. But it's interesting looking at the comments. I think that's something that's always interesting, looking at the comments of Candy's videos. So if we look at some of the top comments, this one's kind of funny. Why does Candy act like she never remembers what she orders, but she sure as heck knows what's missing immediately, right? And then this one, it's not that hard to cut out all the nasty burps, because that is a lot. There's definitely a lot of noise and burping and stuff like that happens. But it was very interesting, because a lot of people were saying that they feel like a feeder was the person that kind of paid for all of this food and kind of what's happening. And honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if that was, you know, something that happened for sure. So that's kind of where we're sitting with that video. There really wasn't much to go over. I think more than anything, when I make these videos, especially about Candy, it's interesting to me because as a person and like just as an individual, I think I like Candy. I really do want her to do well. But as a creator and as someone, you know, that I'm making videos on, it's definitely very frustrating to see this narrative play out so many times over and over again. You know, there's this desire to change, and then there's like a push for that change, but it's a very short-lived push, right? And then we're back to square one, and we kind of go back in the cycle. And the reason that I think a little bit nicer to Candy is that, you know, there is a lot of things that remind me of myself in her, but at the same time, it's definitely unbelievably frustrating to see what feels like such little actual effort put in changing the situation that she's in. And I think, like, if I'm being realistic about my videos, like, do I think that someone will, like, Candy will watch my video and be like, oh my God, I'm going to change my life? Not really. I do have a genuine hope that Candy does watch my videos every once in a while and hopefully sees, because I do read the comments of these videos, and usually the comments are relatively nice compared to a lot of the other, you know, videos that I make. I wish the comments were always nice, but that just is what it is. So I do hope that she kind of sees the videos and maybe it is helpful. But I think if I'm being realistic about my videos, I understand that a lot of the people that are watching the videos can have some sort of relatability to Candy, whether that's struggling with their weight or whatever. And I always try to add a little bit of advice, right, to Candy, but then obviously to any of you guys that are watching this, right? And I hope that kind of comes through in the videos that I make. I understand that I'm, you know, talking about people and about their situations, and I am fully aware I don't know 100% of what a person is going through, of course, right? Even with Candy, I don't know 100% of what she is going through, but I do think that I can add some hopefully helpful advice to her, but then to anyone else watching the videos that I make. So hopefully there has been some helpful information in this video if you are someone that is trying to lose weight, and maybe there are some tidbits that you can take out of it. But with that being said, I hope that you guys did enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.